Wang, over here.
Sorry, Wang is indisposed at the moment. Ricardo Guzman, you are under arrest for the murder of Neil Jensen. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
That face, yo. Looks so terrified.
Mr. Guzman doesn't dispute the cockfighting charges. We're prepared to plead guilty on that one.
Está insultando la República Dominicana.
Let me. My client is not a murderer, Mr. McCoy. Mr. Jensen died as a result of an accident.
An accident?
He attempted to handle an armed bird, and he lost control of it.
Really?
That face! The faces! The faces, the jokes.
A man gets carved up like a side of beef. Guzman lets him slowly bleed to death, then dumps him on a doorstep and expects to walk away.
I checked with the Dominican consulate.
And?
He's wanted there for drug running and armed robbery.
Well, I want him here for murder.
Is it possible it really was an accident?
Does it matter? Neil Jensen didn't have to die. Guzman had 2 hours to get help and he callously stood by. Murder 2. Depraved indifference.
He is angry. The defense must be desperate. They're putting Guzman on the stand. Harland Fitzpatrick is a good defense lawyer. He will try to make Guzman appear sympathetic using a number of whatever that is, tricks. I can't even bother right now. Your job is to object when he gets out of line. Leading is when the defense attorney puts words in the defendant's mouth to help make his case. You can often tell a leading statement because it ends with a question like, "Am I right?" or "Don't you mean?" Asking and answered is when the lawyer gets his client to repeat an answer for dramatic effect. Listen closely for repetition of things you've heard before.
Mr. Guzman, when did you first meet Neil Jensen?
Maybe a year ago, I guess.
Oh,
Who
God.
initiated the relationship? You or him?
He did. I didn't want to have no part of him, man. Not at first. What I do, I gotta be careful who I
His
let
eyes
in.
look weird.
Bring trouble, you know? Especially a white guy.
Mr. Jensen came to you with an offer, is that right?
Yeah, he had
Bleeding.
a bird, and he wanted me to help him raise it and fight it.
And at first you said no?
That's right.
Leading! Assume facts are not oh God! I still have the other ones to do. Asked and answered. Assuming facts not in evidence.
I object.
Can I do this one?
Assuming facts not in evidence.
I don't see how that objection applies here.
Fuck.
Overruled.
What convinced you to take Neil Jensen under your wing, as it were, in spite of your suspicion?
He knew cockfighting ain't how they make it out to be, you know?
It's a more civilized practice than people realize, you mean?
Oh. What? He knew cockfighting. What convinced you to take Neil Jensen under your wing, as it were, in spite of your suspicions? He knew cockfighting isn't how they make it out to be, you know? It's a more civilized practice than people realize, you mean. God, I don't remember my terms. Yes. Misleading the jury.
Objection, Your Honor. Misleading the jury.
I think Mr. Guzman is entitled to express his opinion of the sport, Your Honor.
Are we listening to the same
Oh my
testimony?
God!
Overruled.
So you agreed to keep the bird and help him raise it?
See, together we raised El Jefe, and together we conditioned him to fight. He was a good bird.
Here's another trick. Speculation is when a witness is allowed to theorize or imagine a scenario and present it as evidence. Defense may encourage this as Neil Jensen looks bad.
Why don't you tell us, in your own words, what happened on the night of Tuesday, May 5th?
Well, Neil come in that night really keyed up, man, like super keyed up. He was jumping all around. I think maybe he was on something.
Yes. Speculation.
Speculation.
Sustained. Strike that from the record.
God,
Yourself,
I'm
Mr.
horrible at
Guzman.
this now.
Please confine your description to actual events.
Go on.
Well, he was excited, you know, because El Jefe was finally gonna fight. There were some other birds up first, but he couldn't sit and watch, man. Pacing around, till his turn finally came. Okay, I tell him. I'm the handler. I'm experienced at this stuff. Let me do it.
Get the bird into the ring.
The pit, yeah. It could be dangerous, you know, especially with the long heel.
A long blade attached to the rooster's spur.
Right, but Neil wouldn't hear nothing I was saying, man. Being he was a rider, he had to do everything himself. Well, anyway, he's yelling about how he had to be the one to handle El Jefe. I told him don't. I ordered him even, but he really got in my face about it, man, so I had to back down. Then he went for the rooster, like he was going for a football or something. Grabbed it around the neck. You understand, this is a bird who's been conditioned to fight. The bird goes crazy.
It attacked Neil Jensen.
No! Leading!
Naturally, you were horrified.
Yes! Leading!
Objection. Leading.
Sustained.
How did you feel?
Horrified, naturally.
As we approach the part of the testimony where Guzman will describe Neil's wounds, be on the lookout for statements that would require medical training to back it up. These can objected to on the grounds of no expert
Made
knowledge.
a grab for the bird and got it.
Putting yourself in considerable danger in the process, I imagine.
Yes. Asked and answered. Speculation. Leading.
Objection. Asked and answered.
Would you like to withdraw that before I overrule you again?
Withdrawn.
But by the time I got the rooster under control, the damage was done.
I see. So what then? What did you do for him?
I wrap a blanket around him to try stop the bleeding, you know?
Did you think to take him to the hospital?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do, but he told me not to. He wanted me to take him home.
Mr. Jensen asked you to take him home.
Mm-hmm. His wounds, I mean, he was cut up pretty bad, but not so bad as all that. He should have pulled through, no problem.
My God, I'm doing horrible at this.
Objection. No expert knowledge. Considering the outcome, I think we can conclude that Mr. Guzman's assessment of the situation is off.
Sustained. Facts only, Mr. Guzman.
You swore on the Bible you'd tell the truth, Mr. Guzman.
I'm telling the truth. I panicked maybe. You would have done the same. But I did what Neil asked me to do. What I thought would save his life.
Your witness, Mr. McCoy.
Oh my God, this part sucks. This is horrible. Oh my God. When it goes to this half of the episode, it sucks. First, for this testimony, the jury sides with the defense. Overall, the jury prefers the defense a little.
Mr. Guzman.
The prosecution is ready to cross-examine Guzman, focus on inconsistencies in the evidence, and his callous disregard for Jensen. Stay away from tricky issues like his past life or the cultural bias against cockfighting. Time of the incident, criminal background, no, they should stay away from that. Barbaric sport, no, stay away from that. Guzman put Jensen in danger.
The incident in question occurred on the night of May 5th.
That's right. Maybe 1:45.
1:45. And you say you acted to save him?
Of course I acted. I tried to help him right there, and when I couldn't help him, I took him home, like he asked me to.
No. What is the problem? 2 hours gap between wound and 911 call. Guzman has biased against WASP. Guzman testified that he didn't witness the incident. Wong testified that Guzman wanted... Please, I need to get it back. I'm doing horrible.
The 911 call is timestamped 4:03. 2 hours after the incident, Mr. Guzman. Under the circumstances, it's fair to ask. Couldn't your response have been a little more prompt?
Hijos de puta mentirosos.
I'm sorry, Mr. Guzman.
It's a mistake. Someone's not telling the truth.
Are you suggesting 911 got the time wrong?
Or somebody.
Criminal background, barbaric sport. Guzman put Jensen in danger.
You knew it was dangerous for Neil Jensen to handle his own rooster.
Sure it was dangerous. When those birds are ready to fight, man, they're ready to fight.
Then why didn't you stop him?
I tried, man, but like I said, he wouldn't take no for an answer.
Does this contradict his earlier statement? I tried, but he wouldn't take... Oh, then why didn't you stop him? Sure, it was dangerous. When those birds are ready to fight, they're ready to fight. No, I don't think it does. I need to focus on these parts. What's the problem? Testified earlier that he planned to kill Neil all along. Guzman said he forced Neil into the ring. Neil testified earlier he tried to stop Guzman. Guzman testified earlier he tried to stop Neil. Being a counselor's hard. Relationship.
Mr. Guzman, you took Mr. Jensen into your confidence, initiated him into your illegal activities. Knowing your new disciple was a writer, didn't you worry that he'd give the game away, expose your ring, and force you to shut down operations?
Well, sure I was worried, but he promised me he'd keep quiet. And he wouldn't write anything neither, unless I okayed it first.
And you trusted him?
Yeah, he respected me, man.
Did Jensen disobey Guzman at any point? Did Jensen disobey Guzman at any point? How so? Did Jensen disobey Guzman at any point? No? Shit.
Let's get back to those final moments, shall we? Maybe this time we can get the facts straight. You drove Neil Jensen home.
Like he asked me to.
And you dropped him off at the door. What time was that? 4 o'clock?
God, I'm doing
More like
horrible.
2.
Did you stay with him till he was safely inside?
I'm upset.
No.
No. You dumped him there and took off. Why, Mr. Guzman?
I heard a baby crying as I was coming up the walk with Neil, and I saw a light turn on, so I knew she was up. I was sure she was gonna come down and get Neil.
Yes?
But I didn't want to have to be there and explain it all to her, you know?
No, I expect you didn't. No further questions.
I am upset that I'm losing. For this testimony, the jury is on the fence. Oh. Oh no. Now is the time to put Elle on the stand and let her talk about her husband Neil and the horrible events on May 5th. I'm upset that I'm losing this. No reason to ask tough questions, just have her recount her experience, generate some sympathy, but try to avoid any mentions of Neil's shady nightlife or speculate about his death.
Want to take this one, Abby?
The people call Ellie Jensen to the witness stand.
Night of the murder, shady...
Mrs. Jensen, tell us how you discovered your husband on the night in question.
Well, I heard a sort of a thunk coming from outside the front door.
Did it wake you up?
No,
No, it wasn't loud enough for that, but luckily I was awake. Noah, my baby, had just waked me for his usual feeding. That at least conforms to Mr. Guzman's testimony. What condition was your husband in when you found him? It was horrible. He was covered in blood, and he had this look in his eyes like he knew he was dying. I kept saying, "Who did this to you? Who did this to you?" But all he could do was move his mouth. I think he was saying, "I'm sorry." And there was nobody with him? Nobody. He was all alone. Now this is crucial. Mrs. Jensen, what time did you discover your husband? Just before 4 a.m. You're absolutely sure? Yes. I glanced at the clock when my baby cried at 5 minutes to. He always wakes up at the same time. Thank you, Mrs. Jensen.
So you finally come around, eh, Harlan?
If that's the way you want to look at it, Jack.
Great. What are you looking for?
No jail time. Mr. Guzman pays a fine and does 12 months probation.
Come on, he killed a man.
Actually, a rooster killed a man.
He sat idly by for 2 hours and let an innocent man bleed to death.
Probation? No, wait. Make your counter offer. The charge of murder applies if you feel Guzman acted in a premeditated and calculated fashion when he let Jensen bleed to death. The charge of manslaughter applies if you feel Guzman acted recklessly and thereby caused Jensen to die, but didn't directly plan on that outcome. I'm going with manslaughter.
He served 7 to 15 years plus a $2,500 fine for cockfighting. How about it, Mr. Guzman?
It's a deal. Nice doing business with you, Jack.
Just because I sucked, and personally I don't believe that it was a murder.
You managed to put a pin in that case without dragging it out.
I wasn't sure Guzman was gonna go for it. That guilty plea hung on his lips for about 5 minutes, it seemed like.
Probably still considers himself innocent. The mind can rationalize just about anything.
Counselors, I just wanted to thank you for putting Neil's killer behind bars. He deserved a longer sentence if you ask me. Surely, but, well, I can't dwell on that. Vengeance. It's not healthy. Life goes on, you know?
She's all hunched
Vengeance
over.
might not be healthy, but is sometimes necessary. Guzman got off too easy.
Let it go, Jack. We got another 60 cases lined up this month alone.
How about we grab lunch? You still on that diet?
Nope. Ditched the health food. And, Julia.
Right on schedule.
And I feel great.
Any preferences?
Nope, I'm up for anything. Except chicken. For some reason that doesn't appeal to me today.
Wonder why. Oh, well, it's over. That kind of sucked. I think I did fine at first, and then I got to the actual part where you had to find evidence, and then that did kind of bad, and then just the whole court time was just horrible. It sucks. Ugh. Right now my recording is sucking. But anyway, that was episode 2. As I said, it was like Home to Roost or something like that. I don't know. Me personally, I don't think it was intended, but whatever. Don't really care. Happened what happened. Wonder how many stars I got for it. But anyway, that concludes this, other than the credits, which I will let roll. And then I will see you all in the next literal episode for whatever part this is, and episode 3 of this game. Until then, guys, bye bye.